or anything.
Oh no.
Um, Now we got lots of whales. I can barely hear anything with my hood on today.
Yeah, they're everywhere. I don't think they mind the rain at all.
No, this guy's zipping under the boat here. Yeah, they don't seem to be bothered by it. Although yesterday with all that fog that we had there, well, they started off strong. There was lots of whales at the beginning, and then eventually they sort of petered out. I guess we're getting to that time of year though where the weather's gonna start turning. We've been lucky up until this point.
Yeah, she's gonna start getting cold soon.
I want to go find a big group of adults that we were seeing. Right now we got a bunch of juvies around us, but there's some real large groups of big adults hanging out. Oh, a little calf right there.
Yeah, they're all falling in line right behind us.
Yeah. Yeah, they're digging the boat right now. Oh, I've got a new job description on the boat today, actually, if you... I'll spook that guy. Or a new duty. Or I gotta make sure I'm keeping this cam clean for you guys. So if I forget or if it's getting ugly, then just let me know. Cam ops are doing a good job of reminding me, but I'll do my best to keep it clean. Although there's probably some good stuff happening down under the boat right now too, on the underwater camera. Got one lonely snorkeler out on one of the boats here. We seen Sea North. They just made their way across and took a tour out to the fort. So people are all going to be braving the storm. At least there's no lightning today.
Let's hope it stays that way.
Yeah, there's none in the forecast, and it doesn't look like the kind of threatening clouds that cause lightning, so we should be okay in that department. Just these guys are having a good time following us around today. Just trying to click on pictures here, and holy smokes. Just the first picture I actually was able to click on with my wet fingers. That is clear. So you can see how visible the water is today.
Oh wow.
Yeah, deadly. That's a really good photo. Well, that's exciting, especially if we got this many whales hanging out with us today. That was by Carla J. Is that photo that I just clicked on there? It's awesome. Oh, things on the fritz here. Well, I'm happy this is the first day that we've been out where it's been raining like this. Where we've been spending time on the water. Makes a few things more difficult. That's for sure. There's a couple adults in there, eh? Man, there's just big groups out here. Here we go. I didn't plug in the speaker today, so I don't know how loud they're being down there, if they're making any noise at all. Maybe we'll try that in a bit. Yeah, these pictures are looking awesome today. So have you done marine stuff then, like research at all or anything, or?
Here in Churchill?
Yeah, or anywhere, I
Yeah,
guess?
I worked, the first summer I was here, I worked with Fisheries and Oceans out here in the river. We did some beluga whale tagging as part of a research project. And then later that summer I worked with Fisheries and Oceans again when we were doing some sampling just in the bay there, right along the shoreline. They were just seeing, they did a bunch of different sampling techniques like drags and what else do we do? Did some plankton tows, stuff like that, just trying to get an idea of what exactly is in the bay.
Oh, okay.
So, because
What-
there's not a large group of research done in Hudson Bay.
Yeah.
So that's one of the things we're looking forward to with the Marine Observatory, when it gets built, is just the increased research or information coming from the bay.
Mhm.
As right now, there's not a ton of it, and the most comprehensive one that I've actually found so far is dated back to the 60s or 70s.
Probably.
Yeah, so it'd be nice to get a good idea of what exactly is in the bay, and do a really comprehensive survey.
Yeah.
No.
Oh, it's interesting with the. We've talked about the. What's that noise? We've talked about the tagging before. Just because they don't know a lot about the whales once they leave the estuary and start heading up north. The types of tags you guys use, they're just short on battery life. Is that right? Or
Yeah, I'm not
they
exactly
don't-
sure what happened. I know that the hope was that they would last. I think it was over a year, like maybe a year and a half.
Also, they do go that long.
Well, I think that was the hope. I don't think we had any last more than like 6 to 8 months.
Not really.
Yeah, so
It's difficult because the questions they have are like, where exactly are the whales wintering, and what are they feeding on while they're, or what depths are they spending most of their time in, or
yeah,
there's
exactly.
lots of things they just don't know. They're
Yeah, well, so this population is actually one of the healthier ones in the world. They estimated around like 57 to 60,000 whales. But even
Nice.
still, they're classified as special concern just because we don't know all the information that we'd like to know about them.
And that's that number is based on the western Hudson Bay population.
That's correct, yeah.
And that makes up mainly the three estuaries: the Seal River, Nelson River, and the Churchill River. That's a lot of whales. They say I want to say, but it's worth double checking. It's like 30-something% of the world's population of beluga whales.
Something, yeah.
the
I think
Hudson
there's
Bay.
one other population in like the Beaufort Sea that is like very large.
Yeah.
I couldn't give you an exact number right now, but a lot of the other ones are just small pockets.
Yeah.
Like the ones in the St. Lawrence, which are also, I think they're listed as either threatened or endangered just because of the pollution in the waterway and stuff. But the eastern Hudson Bay population is also interesting because, from what I understand, it's believed that they overwinter in the same area as the western Hudson Bay population, but their numbers seem to be a lot smaller and possibly in decline.
Oh, okay. Because that's another question they have is how much. Because some of the populations, depending on where they go in the winter, like especially the Canadian, they don't know if they're mingling at all, if they're all meeting up in the same area, or if it's.
Yeah, it'd be
Holy-
interesting.
We
I
got a
don't
whole
know
load
if
of them
anyone's doing
behind
it,
us.
but it'd be interesting to look at the genetics behind them.
Pardon?
I said I'm not sure anybody's looking at it, but it would be interesting to look at the genetics and see if there's any overlapping.
Yeah. Because I know they talk about narwhals, and there's a population on the eastern coast and western coast of Greenland,
Yeah.
and they don't actually want those things to end up mingling together, just because it's basically two different gene pools now, and they'd like to keep it that way. It's been separated for so long, and now because of receding sea ice and things like that, they're getting closer to the point where they might start interacting with each other.
We've got some nice big whales here behind us right now.
Yeah,
I actually noticed one of them looks like it might have some of the notches in the dorsal ridge from a
have
tag.
some which?
Some notching in the dorsal ridge.
Oh, so is that what that is? We've been seeing lots of that.
Yeah, so some of them, I think, if the tags were to get like rubbed out or pulled off, as the skin heals, there should be some little notching where the tag was.
Like how big do you think? Because
That would probably depend on how long ago they were tagged. I know there's been several different projects in different rivers, and I believe the whales tend to continually traverse between them. So I'm not entirely sure how big they would be.
okay,
And I'm
'cause
just speculating right now. It looks like it could be that.
it's yeah, one of the common things we see is and that's what we talk about when we bring up Beluga Bits, the citizen science project. We're looking for markings like that, like dorsal ridge scarring or chunks missing, other scars on the body, the belly shots to help determine sex of the animals, and sometimes they just have like discoloration or weird pigmentation, like patches on them that are weird looking.
Cool. Like identifying features, you mean?
Pardon?
Like things you could use to identify individuals? Yeah. That's cool.
So all of it goes, people at home, like that's what I'm checking out now, all these photos, we call them snapshots. It's an icon that's in the center of your screen when you're on the Explorer website, just above the video feed, and they all get marked with a timestamp, and then go to Stefan Peterson at the Assiniboine Conservancy, and they go through them, as well as lots of other volunteers that participate in the program. So
nice.
that way they can helps them to identify whales and see how many are returning to the estuary. Or
yeah, he's doing a very interesting project.
Mm-hmm.
I listened to a little bit of his talk there when he did it here in town.
Yeah.
So it'll be interesting to see how many people get involved and help him out with that.
Well, last year they had around 7,000 snapshots.
Wow.
Yeah, so lots of people. Like, it's been great this year too. We've been getting piles of them. I wouldn't say I know how many. The only kind of, well, actually it's gone now, but on the old website I could see how many comments there were, and I think we were over like 4,000 from when the first time I looked at it. It was in this 78 or 79,000, and now it was like over 83 or 82 or something.
Wow, that's good. That's encouraging.
Yeah, so the people are definitely helping out a lot, and we really appreciate it. Stefan's pumped. I've chatted with him a couple times, and he's pretty happy about it. I'm not sure, like, they're still, I think, even going through photos from last year, so I'm not sure if he's actually started to siphon through what we've been getting yet this summer, but it's a lot of work. That's part of the reason why it's a citizen science project, so people at home can take part and actually help to go through all the photos.
That's good. I like to see more projects like that engage people at home.
Yeah.
You know, and it really helps out the researchers.
It's good for school too, like kids, getting them engaged, and kind of a fun activity.
Yeah, and it garners interest. You know, people who might not be there, or might not be able to make it out into the field. You know, it gives them something that they can attach themselves to and you know, really run with. And
also, I think it helps like bring awareness to Churchill too. Like, a lot of people don't know what's up here.
No, exactly.
It's a gold mine for awesomeness.
Oh yeah.
Basically, whatever you're into in terms of, you know, animal life, or auroras, or flowers, or, you know, birds, and all kinds of you can get all of that up here in Churchill. In most cases, it's like better than anywhere else in the world.
Yeah. Oh yeah. There's definitely no lack of things to do up here, or lack of things to see. I mean, it almost seems like everywhere you go, you find something new.
Yeah. Oh, just once every 15 minutes. We're getting a steady flow behind us. So are the tags that they have, are they designed just to eventually rub off, basically?
Yeah, I think that's the case. From what I understand, and I could be wrong in this, but I think that as the skin and dorsal ridge starts to heal, that they just eventually get pushed out.
Oh.
Yeah. So, but it's also possible that they come off.
So they could regenerate the tissue on their dorsal ridge?
Oh yeah, just like anyone else, you know, just heal.
Oh.
You know, it'll still be probably scar tissue,
but it'll just push it out, like it'll.
That's the impression I was given. Yeah. So.
Because then, I wonder, because like some of them have big chunks, and that's, you know, one of the things they're looking for. But they mainly, with the beluga bits, they want identification marks that they know will last. Like if it's an open wound or a scratch or something on the surface, like it doesn't make it through into the muck tuck and stuff, then when it heals or when they molt the next time, it just disappears.
Okay.
I wonder then, with the dorsal ridge, if that's would be an issue if a few years from now.
Yeah, I'll have to look into that. I'll have to talk to talk to my buddies.
Yeah. I think I'm gonna shut this radio off. It sounds like it's underwater. And put it in my bag. Well, once you get all waterproofed up, it's actually not too bad out here in the rain.
No, it's not bad. A little cold on the hands, but
Yeah,
that's
I
alright.
just think of it as conditioning for the winter.
Yeah, gonna need that.
Yeah. Yeah, if it's anything like it was last year, better start early.
I didn't find that. Well, you might have found it a little different out at the cabin, but I didn't find it that cold last year.
Really? Yeah, well, the coldest I know about was the day we left town and it was minus 54 or something. That was a doozy of a day, but that was with the wind too.
Yeah.
When I found that out, I was a little less excited about getting on that skidoo for 9 hours.
You know what though? If you dress appropriately, you don't even notice it.
Oh yeah, I've talked about the snow mantra a few times too. Like, God, if you need a survival suit or something, if you're going to the North Pole, like, go get a snow mantra. Those things, it's insane.
Oh,
I don't know how much they weigh, but they're so big and fluffy you could almost pitch a tent with it if you had to. They're huge. I even didn't realize it at first on some of the really cold days when I first got it. On the skidoo, we'd be out all day and it'd be bitter cold out. And then when I got home, I realized, holy, I had vents open on it. Like, and I was still warm.
That's funny.
Oh, we got a few whales around. Maybe we'll head up where I can see Sea North 2. Close to the mouth there, we'll go see what they're up to. So sometimes I'm just seeing, okay, there might be a comment just regarding the snapshot. Yeah, I was going to say try reloading the page. That's to Han. Hopefully it'll pop up for you. Getting a few images here. They're looking good. Got one hanging out right behind us. So we were talking about the prop and the belugas, how they've got an interest in it, and Matt was saying it's someone thought possible that it has something to do with echolocation.
Yeah, I was speaking with someone and they thought maybe it was a purely acoustic thing, that they just really liked the acoustics of the motor.
The other thing I just thought of, maybe like when you said acoustics, was it's like us talking into a fan.
Oh, yeah.
Where it makes your voice sound like Darth Vader. Maybe that's what's happening with the whales, but
That would be funny. I mean, you never really know, right?
yeah.
So,
But I still, like, I think, I mean, even if it is partially that, I'm pretty sure they like that water just...
I mean, why wouldn't you? Like, if you, I don't know if you've ever had one of those underwater propellers that kind of just pushes water past you.
Yeah.
It feels good, so.
swirling around, yeah.
Yeah. I don't blame them one bit.
Yeah. It's probably just fun, because, like, where else would they get something like that, right, than
Yeah.
behind a boat? So, being as inquisitive and curious as they are, they're just checking out, and they're like, oh, what's this all about?
Maybe where their masseuse.
Yeah. Yeah, a little facial there, and
Yeah.
exfoliate.
Yeah.
Especially with the grit and sediment in the water this year, it just helps a little bit more with that exfoliating. A little more abrasive. Oh, this is good. They're happy and friendly today. Yeah, these same ones are like in the boat right now, eh?
Oh, yeah.
So what kind of data are they receiving with those tags? Specifically?
They were, excuse me. They were just tracking their travels, like throughout the. I think every time they came to the surface or something, it would
it sends a
send a location,
yeah.
and then they would just track them for as long as the tag would track them. So for the first little while, they're just seeing them kind of swim along the coastline between. I think it was the Seal River and like Hudson National Park. A couple of them, I think, may have gone down towards the Nelson, and then around the same time, like getting into, I think it was September, October, like late September, early October, I think they started to head up the coast.
Oh, okay.
And they'd head up the west side of the bay, and then I think right when they hit the top of the point there, I think we might have got one or two start to head across, like towards the east side of the bay.
Oh yeah.
But then the tags cut out shortly after that. So
Yeah, because I never thought of that either. When we have, say, the GoPro, you stick it under like 2 inches of water, and you can't have your remotes don't work anymore. So
yeah.
I didn't think of that when they surface. So that's got to put all kinds of limitations on the sort of data they can retrieve from.
Yeah.
The
So, and then
tags.
when the ice starts to form up too, like that's another thing that can really dislodge the camera, because they use like their back around the dorsal ridge to press up against or rub up against.
Break if like they need a air hole and there's just a thin layer or something.
Yeah. So that's prime location to get rubbed right off.
And they need to. I've heard like they need to keep the tags as minimal or as slick or sleek as possible too, because they don't want to have any impact on like.
Oh yeah, they're real
streamlined.
real smooth and they're curved just like the curvature of the dorsal ridge. They've got a little antenna that kind of flops around a bit going off it. So yeah, they're very streamlined, very sleek.
Yeah.
They cause minimal
Drag.
like friction
Yeah.
for the whales. So and it's a pretty quick process too. It's only about half an hour.
Oh,
to get
really?
it on. Yeah. So
Yeah, we haven't had anybody talk about tags yet, like what the process or anything. So it's interesting because we've had lots of people ask questions about it. And
yeah.
I mean, I haven't even heard of anything happening this year with people being out tagging them, but
There's nothing going on this year, as far as I know. Not in the Churchill River, anyways. I don't know of anything else. That you'd have to talk to the researchers that are doing that in fisheries in Winnipeg. But I know that they also have some other projects that they look at in the region. They look at narwhal, and they are trying to track the killer whales that we're now starting to see in the bay. So.
yeah.
And I think they might even look at bowheads. I think they're on top of all the marine mammals up in the Arctic here.
They're what, sorry?
They might even look at bowheads, and
Oh, really?
I think they kind of look at all the different marine mammals that are up in the subarctic area or the Arctic.
Okay.
So that's Dr. Steve Ferguson, who's
Dr. what?
Steve Ferguson.
Oh,
Yeah, he's running a number of those projects. So
cool. It's interesting work, but I think part of the reason why it'd be so hard too for these animals is just the conditions. You know, like it's one thing to be up here in the summertime. Come fall and winter, then it's way more challenging to do any work with them because well, they're even heading to where it's worse than what it is here. We got a big group hanging out now. That one's rolling around. Man, the water looks nice and clear. It's awesome.
yeah, you can see them all over the place, within a few feet of the surface.
Yeah. The water driplets make it a little tricky for us to get a good visual, but as long as you guys are having good luck, we're getting nice photos in.
Do you hear them? I feel like I can hear some of them.
Yeah, sometimes you could hear them like squawking. They come through the boat. You could hear the noise. I should maybe try to get the speaker, even if I just have it turned on inside the bag. You might be able to hear it. I'll stop and do that in a second. Once these whales leave, if I stop now, they won't follow us anymore. Man, we're getting good pictures. They're really clear. Yeah, it didn't. The rain didn't really let up at all day today. It
Nope.
was pretty gross out right from when I got up in the morning. I didn't go out at all. I just stayed at the house and worked on the computer all day.
Yeah, I did the same.
So
They were calling earlier this morning. They were calling for winds this evening. Like it looked like it was going to pick up, but
it was supposed to be like 50k gusting winds this morning too. I don't
Yeah.
know, great, but it's not bad right now.
no. I think right now we're sitting just under 20k.
Yeah, with even whatever gust they call for, it seems like that's not even an issue usually.
No.
Oh,
yeah.
that's cool. The tail up out of the water. They're pushing each other around back there, that one there.
Right behind you too, yeah. Yeah, it's like they're laying on top of each other
Yeah.
trying to get in the prop.
Well, this is definitely making up for the past 2 days. Like it hasn't been bad. It's just.
I wonder if there's anywhere you could experience something like this, like anywhere else in the world.
No, that's what I say. God, where would that be? Like I haven't heard of
don't
it.
even know. I remember the first time I was out on the river, we went out and we just parked right in the middle. It was like mid-June, late June, and we just parked there, and there was whales in every direction as far as you could see. Like I thought they were white caps at the start.
Really?
Yeah, there was that many. It was insane. And like I've been whale watching out on the East Coast all over the place for like humpbacks and minkies and fins and stuff, and just nothing like this. This is a otherworldly experience.
Yeah. Well, that's what I like. I think it'll really click in for me. I mean, especially when I first got here, I fully realized how insane this is. You know, like the amount of whales, the amount of interaction you get with them. But I think it won't. It won't fully click in until we pack her in for the year, and then I'll be
You'll miss
sliding into a depression, a beluga.
We'll have to get you a
beluga-deprived
stuffed
depression.
beluga whale. You can.
Pardon?
I said we'll have to get you one of those little stuffed toy beluga
I
whales.
know. I'll be watching highlights, waiting for next year. I'm just hoping that polar bears will fill that void at least for a couple months.
Oh yeah, I'm sure they will. They put on their own show.
Yeah. And then after that, I don't know. Anybody else got any ideas where I can go to, like, fill in the gap of time before next beluga season? I'm open to ideas. But yeah, I don't think that, I don't know where else you go to find. People say when they go whale watching, you get lucky if you see one whale, or you see a tail, or you see, something, a pectoral fin coming out of the water. And
Yeah.
here you're just surrounded. Like, we're totally engulfed by them right now.
Yeah. We've got probably 5 or 6 on each side.
Yeah. And it looks like all the other boats are in the same position. There's people surrounded by whales everywhere.
Sometimes you almost feel like you can just reach out and touch them, eh?
Yeah. Yeah, we've talked about that too. One of the things I read in a paper, human contact can transmit toxoplasmosis
Okay.
to the whales. Because I never really thought about it. We weren't touching the whales at all this summer. But I never even thought about actually contaminating or transmitting something to the whales.
Yeah, well, their skin is very, very soft. Like if you had long nails and you just kind of ran your nail with any kind of pressure down along the skin, you'd cut it.
Really?
Yeah.
It's just like a dolphin.
Yeah. Yeah.
Or probably most. This is crazy right now.
Yeah.
We got so many whales. I left my GoPro and everything at home like a dummy. Look at this, man. Holy. Yeah, I was fooling around with the camera today, and then instead of gathering up all the pieces, I decided to leave it today.
Your GoPro?
Yeah.
Ah.
It would have been perfect because the water, the visibility is unreal right now, and having this many whales around the boat.
Yeah.
Every video I've tried to get so far this year hasn't really turned out that well. I think you pretty much have to go snorkeling with them to get an actual quality video.
Yeah, I think so.
sure Remy's been calling. I just got the radio turned off now though. I'm not sure. I know those things are water resistant. I just don't know how much. Maybe we'll head over his direction. We always try to get a few whales in tow like this and then pull them over to the sea north too. Work sometimes. We got a lot. I don't even know how many there are underneath us right now. And this water, the visibility is unreal.
I love when they come up and you can look them right in the eye.
Pardon?
I love when they surface and you can look them right in the
When
eye.
they turn their heads up and like stare at you, yeah.
It's like you know someone's looking back at you.
Yeah. That's the thing. It's people have asked what's their interest in the boat, or what do they see when they see the boat, and they're fully aware that there's like we're on top of the boat, like they know it.
Oh yeah. They're very, very intelligent animals. Very inquisitive as well.
I wonder to like what extent, like how deep their thoughts would go, you know, if they realize that we're not equipped to survive in the water, and that's why we're on this raft. Or I wonder.
I don't know. I've read a number of stories about different species of whales kind of doing something similar to what we're seeing here, where they flank both sides of the boat and have guided boats through fog.
Really?
Stuff. I've never read it with belugas, but apparently killer whales do it.
Really? Well, I've
and
heard
dolphins as well. Bottlenose dolphins also
really?
been known to do it, yeah.
So they know when you're in distress?
It seems that way. I mean, you can't obviously prove it, but...
Well, I thought there was a story with a beluga whale. It was in an aquarium, though. It assisted somebody to the surface.
That wouldn't surprise me. Yeah.
Pardon?
That would not surprise me.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, yeah, I actually know what I just seen today. Like, have you ever watched those videos on octopus? Like how intelligent an octopus is, and
Oh yeah.
they said in Europe, and I can't remember where else it was. It's the law. If you're going to do any research or anything on octopus, you have to sedate them first. Like there needs to be an anesthesiologist. They have to put them under, just because they're so smart.
Yeah, because usually if you're doing any sort of research with animals, you have to go through animal care protocols. And typically invertebrates don't fall under that.
Yeah.
And obviously an octopus would be an invertebrate. So I think we're making strides in understanding the level of cognition of a lot of different species of animals.
Yeah.
So that's very cool that they've now included octopus. And I wouldn't be surprised if they do it soon with squid. Squid are fairly intelligent as well for invertebrates.
Squid are scary. The Humboldt, like if they...
the big ones? Yeah.
You've seen when they get into the little feeding frenzy, and if you're in the water diving, you're in trouble. Like people, they latch onto divers and pull them.
Yeah.
Start to pull you down, and you just basically got to fight for your life. And they got those beaks.
That's like a 5-6 foot squid. Like
yeah, with a huge hard beak inside that's ripping chunks out of you.
Oh man, I would not want to be in that one.
I've seen babies before when we were scuba diving. They're swimming right in front of my mask, a whole bunch of little tiny ones.
They just ink you?
Pardon?
Do they ink you?
No, they're just hanging out. We got Sea North 2 hanging out all... we got some wet tourists on board too. Oh, it's crazy, man. And the visibility has been awesome too. How's it going? Yeah. Awesome. Yeah, you guys are, well, once the camera points in your direction, you'll be live online. Yeah, you can go on explore.org later and you'll see snapshots of you guys on the boat. People at home will take some pictures. Yeah, it's crazy how clear the water is today too.
I know, considering how much rain there is.
Yeah.
Washed away.
Yeah, no, this is awesome.
I can't complain with this.
Yeah.
All the gear's holding up in the rain.
Yeah, so far so. I put my radio away. I don't know if you're trying to chat with me. It sounded like I was holding it underwater.
You gotta blow your mic out.
Yeah. So.
Yeah. Pretty nice day. In terms of the whale quality, at least.
Yeah, it's not too cold out either. Not crazy cold out either, which is nice.
Oh. But this feels a little more like fall time.
Yeah. This is what we'll be expecting.
Yeah, this is how it's gonna be for like the next 10 days till the season's over.
Really? Crazy.
That's what they all say. Hey, lucky for the tourists, they sell rain jackets and shirts.
You should see the pictures we're getting today.
I can imagine.
Yeah, they're awesome.
Snapshot Central.
Yeah, we're getting really good ones.
Did they just cycle through the feed there, the pictures?
Yeah, so I got just like a message board here. I'll show you. It's just loading. It's giving me a little bit of trouble today, but nothing crazy for how wet it is. You can just see all the, these are all the people. Like those are all just files for the snapshots are taking. So that's what we've been getting today.
Okay.
Yeah, it's pretty cool. I'll see here. Maybe we got, might have a couple popping up. Yeah. Kathy Daly, is that what that says? And they're through the raindrops. She just took a picture of the Sea North boat. Pardon? Oh.
Dwayne and Melissa and Shane and Renee. Yeah. Third time in a row.
Really?
She's finding new teammates.
Yeah, she won a couple times and then that was it. Washed up, man. Just like Mayweather's gonna be next Saturday.
Yeah, you think so?
Probably. What time is the fight at?
I think 9.
Ooh.
Where are you guys watching?
What's that?
Where are you guys watching it?
Palmer.
Oh. Yeah, no, I'm curious. I don't watch tons of that, but this one seems like it's worth viewing.
There's like at least a dozen whales up against the hull right now. Yeah, I can't wait for that. I've been looking forward to this all summer.
Yeah, it's gonna be good.
Who are you rooting for?
I don't know. I'm just interested to see, check it out.
I just want to see a good fight, really.
We're talking about Mayweather and McGregor. A fight coming up. I don't watch lots of UFC or anything. Do you have 2 hydrophones?
One on either side. Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Like if I was drifting any quicker, I'd have to go to this one because then it starts hitting the bottom of the hull.
Oh, yeah, yeah.
You can hear it. Got 2 more boats in the shop.
Oh, yeah?
We just finished off the Twin 50.
Oh, nice. Yeah, I seen you guys, Mitch was taking one out yesterday too, eh?
Yeah. Well, we had to do a water pump on the one, and then, yeah, and then we did the Twin 50 the last 2 nights. And we got 2 more in the shop right now. We'll start working on.
All right, on.
When you pull nothing out of the water.
We'll stick it out as long as possible. They'd like to go into September if we can.
Yeah.
Yeah, so see what happens.
Yeah, for sure.
Might be getting my parka mailed up by then.
What?
Be getting my parka mailed up by then. Yeah. Pardon? Oh, there.
My radio's
I think I sprung a leak somewhere. Feeling like I'm getting some moisture problems under my rain pants. Oh yeah, there's a group, eh? They're headed our way, some of them at least.
sent all the students there. Yeah, so they had two students from Ottawa U or something working there. Yeah, and then Claude, and then a bunch of contractors. So they're doing repairs in the depot.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, maybe we'll go see if we can get the attention of that group. Do one more loop around here.
Fill a water bottle with
Yeah.
Come out of that.
Yeah, no, everything seems to be holding up alright. Well, they're heading her out too. Perfect timing. Yeah, I think that's that same Zodiac.
There's someone way back that way too.
Oh, really? Oh, yeah. Ooh. The only thing I don't understand how it's waterproof on this iPad is the button at the bottom. You know?
Is there a hole there?
Well, it's just the button, like it presses in and out, right, when you push on it.
Yeah.
So there has to be like a, I mean, it's not sealed.
Oh.
I don't think. Like the plastic, I don't even think goes over it. There's like an indentation there.
Yeah, it doesn't look like it.
Yeah. But
Maybe it's water resistant.
yeah, I don't know. Like the rest of the case is supposed to be all waterproof, but
Oh, it's holding up anyways.
yeah.
Have you talked about your time on the trap line at all?
Yeah, I bet we've mentioned it a few times. Yeah,
You gonna do it again this year?
I don't know. Like, depends on what I get up to this winter, I guess. Hopefully, I'm not sure what the plans are. I wanna stick around for bear season, and but that'll only be if I'm working.
Yeah.
So we'll see what happens there, what develops, and then once bear season's over in November, that's kind of when that time of year is kicking off. So I'm not sure. I'd like to. It was awesome. I loved it. I loved
Yeah.
every minute of it last year, except for, well, there's a few times where I was wondering what I was doing out there. But for
Your
the
mind
most,
just takes over.
hey?
When your mind just takes
Yeah,
over.
or you got your skidoo and buried in slush and you're soaking wet 40 kilometers away from the cabin. Like that kind of stuff. It's a
Yeah.
little questionable. But I think like 99% of my time was, I enjoyed it.
That's good.
Even those days when you get back to the cabin, like I was saying to Parker, I've never in my life, those feelings where it's like almost midnight and it's been dark since 3 o'clock in the afternoon and you're 70 kilometers away, and like I didn't have, my GPS wasn't working, and it was snowing and I couldn't see any tracks, and I was looking for blaze marks on trees trying to find the trail. And then that moment where you've been out all day for like 12 hours and then you see the tent, there's like no sensation like it.
Yeah.
You're so like overjoyed and you're cold and everything, and then you just see that tent poking out of the trees, and oh my god, it is the best feeling I've ever had in my life. And that happened a few times out there. Like there's just moments like that where I don't know what you do to experience that, like how else you can get that sort of feeling or that sensation, that relief wash over you.
I'm not sure that there is. I mean, without experiencing it, I would love to do that. I've never gone out for more than like a week or something.
Yeah.
But doing a few months, I'd love to do that.
Even the part by, like, I haven't done anything by myself like that before, and I hadn't been in conditions like that before. I hadn't done anything like that before, and then just to be out by myself doing it, and all of a sudden you're you're driving around doing like 140 kilometers on the skidoo in a day, and like on trails you've never been on. All of it was so foreign.
Yeah.
But just like anything else, I mean, just like this experience being on the boat, I've never done anything like this either. It's healthy though. I think it's good for you, right, to put yourself in those sorts of situations where.
Yeah, well, you learn a lot about yourself, and you learn about the things you like and don't like, and
Yeah.
it's always good to have, to further develop yourself and take on new things. So yeah, no, definitely, I agree with you.
I've talked to people, that said, "Oh man, I can't. I couldn't even barely spend a day by myself." And I was like, "Well, you get that looked at maybe because you should at least be comfortable with yourself."
Yeah.
And maybe an experience like that might even benefit those sorts of people more.
Yeah, definitely.
It's not bad. God, once you get out there, you realize there's so much to do. It's not as if you're twiddling your thumbs looking at the wall for 6 months.
Yeah.
You've got so much to keep you busy out there, and I got lots of reading done, and yeah, you just get to think about things. I liked it.
Oh yeah, well, and if you find yourself just sitting around too, then there's probably something that you're supposed to be doing.
Yeah.
You know? Like, you got to make sure everything is done so that if anything does happen, you got all your ducks in a row.
Yeah, you can't be lazy. You can't let yourself run out of firewood because then you freeze to death. So
Yeah.
you have to go trudge through the snow with the chainsaw.